All right, let's talk about something that is absolutely crucial to a hotel's success, but happens mostly behind the scenes. We're diving into capital expenditures, or CapEx, the strategic investments that literally build a hotel's future.
So, think about this for a second. Have you ever checked into a hotel and it just feels perfect? Everything is crisp, modern, up to date. And then maybe the next trip, you stay somewhere that just feels tired. The furniture's a bit worn, the tech is clunky. We've all been there, right?
Well, the gap between those two experiences, between a hotel that feels like it's thriving and one that's just kind of getting by, it almost always comes down to one single critical financial concept. It's the invisible engine that powers that wow factor. And that answer is CapEx. Now, this isn't about the day-to-day stuff like paying salaries or buying shampoo for the rooms. No, this is about the big, long-term investments that totally define the guest experience and ultimately the property's value. So, what is CapEx really? Let's break down this idea of an investment versus just a regular old expense. Okay, so here's the formal definition. The words you really want to lock in on are long-term, enhance value, and extend its useful life. This is all about investing in the hotel's bones, its future, not just the cost of doing business today.
And you can see these things are pretty substantial. We're talking about gutting and redoing the entire lobby, or replacing every single bed, desk, and chair in the hotel. That's what the industry calls FF&E, furniture, fixtures, and equipment. Or even huge infrastructure projects, like a brand new roof or HVAC system. These are not small ticket items.
And this brings us to a really key distinction: CapEx versus OpEx, or operating expenses. So think of it like this: buying new beds for all 200 rooms. That's CapEx. It's a long-term asset that gets put on the books and depreciated over time. But the cost of washing the sheets on those beds every single day, that's OpEx, an immediate expense that hits the budget right away.
I absolutely love this way of putting it because it just nails the difference. OpEx is all about the here and now. It keeps the hotel running smoothly, day in and day out. But CapEx, that's about vision. It's strategically shaping what that hotel is going to look and feel like 5, 10, even 20 years down the road. Okay, so if CapEx is that important, how in the world do hotels plan for it? Because it's definitely not about just waking up one morning and deciding to renovate the whole third floor. It's a really disciplined long-term process.
One of the most common practices in the industry is to build what's called a CapEx reserve. The smartest hotel operators will consistently set aside a slice of their revenue, usually somewhere between 3 and 5%, just for these future projects. It means the money is actually there when it's time to pull the trigger. No last-minute scrambling. And the whole planning process follows a pretty clear path. First, you build that reserve fund we just talked about. Then, the leadership team looks way down the road, forecasting what the hotel will need over the next 5, even 10 years. And finally, and this is the hard part, they have to prioritize. You can't do everything at once, so it all comes down to figuring out which projects will give you the best bang for your buck. And that prioritizing isn't just based on a gut feeling. It is a serious, data-driven financial decision. They use powerful metrics like internal rate of return and net present value to figure out what creates the most value. Is it upgrading the spa this year, or is it replacing all the windows next year? This is what turns CapEx from a simple maintenance checklist into a high-level strategic conversation in the boardroom. So, they've done the planning, they've saved the money, and they've made the investment. What's the ultimate payoff? Well, this is where it all comes together. You see, strategic CapEx creates this amazing virtuous cycle, and it rests on 4 pillars. You get fresh, modern rooms, which leads to higher guest satisfaction. You meet the chain's requirements with renovations, ensuring brand compliance. You install a new, energy-saving HVAC system, which improves operational efficiency and lowers your bills. And all of that, happy guests, a strong brand, and lower costs, all culminates in a huge increase to the hotel's overall asset value. But of course, the hotel industry has its own unique pressures. A lot of hotels are part of a larger brand, and that brand might require a major renovation every 5 to 7 years, whether you think you need it or not. And on top of that, you have to be a master scheduler, timing these massive projects to avoid messing up the guest experience during your busiest season. It is a constant, high-stakes balancing act. And this, right here, is the key takeaway for all of this. Smart CapEx is not just about fixing things that are broken. It's the tangible process of turning a long-term vision for a property into real, measurable financial value. It's how you protect and grow that asset for the long haul.
So I'll leave you with this. The next time you walk into a hotel lobby, just take a look around. Is the furniture stylish and new? Is the check-in process totally seamless with new tech? Are the elevators quiet and fast? Because now you know what you're seeing isn't just decoration. It's the end result of a long-term strategy, a carefully planned investment in the future. What are you going to see differently now?